You woke up as someone slightly new today. Lie still for 1 second and notice it. The body in this bed is not the one that lay down last night. Cells turned over. The day you dreaded has rearranged itself in your sleep. Some weight you carried to the pillow is lighter now, and some resolve you fell asleep with has quietly thinned. This is about a small, almost invisible fact that decides everything. The person waking is not the person who fell asleep. And the first thing you do this morning is not a chore on a list. It is a vote for which of those two people gets to run the day. 25 centuries ago, a Greek named Heraclitus stood at the edge of a river and saw something almost no one had said out loud. He watched the water move, looked again, and understood that the river in front of him was already a different river. In the surviving fragment, his words come down to us like this: "Upon those who step into the same rivers, different and again different waters flow." Later it was compressed into the line you may know: "No man steps in the same river twice." Most people hear that and think it is about the water. It is not only about the water. Heraclitus said the river is not the same, and neither are you. Two things change in that sentence, not one. The current moves on, yes, but so does the man standing in it. The you who steps in the second time is carrying a different day, a different night of sleep, a different set of fears and small victories than the you who stepped in before. So picture this morning as the second river. You did not step into the same life you closed your eyes on. The water is new, and so are you. Which means the question that greets you at the surface of waking is not, "Who am I, fixed and finished, dragging yesterday behind me?" The question is, "Who will I be in the water that is here right now?" Yesterday's procrastination is upstream. It has already flowed past. It does not have to touch the body standing in today's current unless you reach back and pull it forward on purpose. Here is where a modern writer sharpens the ancient one. James Clear, in his work on habits, makes an argument that lands exactly on this riverbank. He says that you do not become a certain kind of person by announcing it. You become that person through small actions, and that every single action you take is, in effect, a vote. A vote for the kind of person you are quietly proving yourself to be. Not a vote you cast once at a podium in a moment of grand declaration. A vote you cast in the dark, alone, when you decide whether to begin the hard work or drift back toward the warm edge of sleep. Sit with how that changes the morning. You are not waking up to confirm an identity you already have. You are waking up to cast the first ballot of the day. The disciplined person is not a statue you either are or are not. It is a candidate on the ballot every single morning, winning or losing by what your hands actually do in the first hour. Nobody declares themselves focused and becomes focused. They open the document. That is the vote. They make the executive decision they have been avoiding. That is the vote. The identity is the slow tally, counted in actions, never in announcements. And there is a second decision waiting in the same water, before any of the day's difficulty has even arrived. The psychologist Carol Dweck spent her career studying why two equally capable people meet the same hard challenge and respond in opposite ways. Her finding, put plainly, is that one of them has decided in advance that ability is fixed, a fact about them they cannot change, so a hard thing feels like a threat to expose. The other has decided that ability grows through effort, so the same hard thing feels like the exact terrain where they get stronger. The crucial part for this hour is the phrase "decided in advance." The mindset is not chosen in the middle of the struggle when adrenaline is already loud. It is chosen now in the quiet before the challenge walks in. That is the morning's hidden lever. The hard meeting, the deep work block, the decision you have been postponing, none of those have happened yet. You are upstream of all of them, standing in still water. And here, before the test arrives, you get to set the terms on which you will meet it. You can decide in the second river that today's difficulty is proof of a limit or proof of a frontier. Heraclitus says you are new enough to choose. Clear says the choice is cast in action. Dweck says the choice is cast in advance. Notice what this dissolves. The heaviest thing most of us drag into the morning is a verdict. A sentence we passed on ourselves long ago. I am the type who starts and fades. I am not a morning person. I am undisciplined, full stop, signed and dated. But a verdict assumes a fixed self, a single unchanging river, and that self does not exist. You are not obligated to ratify yesterday's version of you. The waters have already moved. What loosens is the idea that today has to be continuous with the failures of yesterday. It does not. The vote is fresh. The ballot box opens again the moment you are conscious, and nothing about last night's tally is binding on this morning's. The person who fell asleep defeated does not get to vote today. Only the one in the water now does. And the pressure to feel like a finished, disciplined person before you act, that pressure quietly lifts too. You do not need to already be that person. You only need to cast one vote in their direction with one action in the next few minutes while the river is new. So step into the second river deliberately and vote. I treat this morning as a new river, and I do not carry yesterday's verdict into today's water. I cast my first vote with an action, not a declaration, in the first hour. I open the hard work before I feel ready, because the opening is the ballot. I decide my mindset now in the quiet, before the difficulty arrives to test it. I refuse to ratify the version of me that fell asleep defeated. I let the failures of yesterday flow downstream, and I do not reach back for them. I become the disciplined person, one counted action at a time, and I begin counting now. That is the morning, not the same river, not the same you, and a ballot box already open. Heraclitus saw it in moving water. Clear named the vote. Dweck named the choice you make before the test. All three meet at the surface of waking, and they all say the same thing. The next action is the self, cast it. If this got you into the water, stay with this channel. Every morning the call to step in new and vote with your hands. And tonight the other half of the day, the part almost no one faces. Meet the self you hid today, where Augustine, Carl Jung, and Brené Brown walk you into the night where you reintegrate the self you set aside to perform the day. Come back this evening to gather back the person you put away. Begin disciplined, end reflective. Step in.